Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Tech It Out. I'm Sahil Manekthala, and why do I say that this is a very special episode? Take a look. As India celebrates its 71st independence, we salute our nation's changemakers and their innovative work. From creating mind-controlled robots to empowering women with technology, these young and creative Indians are the country's brighter future. So get ready to be amazed and inspired by these champions of change. Okay, so we're kicking off our Independence Day special with India's tryst with robotics. In fact, robots are already being used in various industries ranging from automotive and electrical to defense and security. But there's still a lot more to be done in the public domain. Now, the good news is that there's a lot of research being conducted in other areas that are involved in the day-to-day lives of common people. Various startups and organizations are involved in fueling the growth of robotics in India and proving to be the vehicles for the robotic revolution in its truest sense. So in order to better understand how robots are being used in the Indian scenario, the Tech It Out team visited the offices of ACET in New Delhi, a top training institute for robotics that's working on some next level tech.
Our world wouldn't be the same without robots, and trust us, it's going to get a lot more exciting. Some of the most advanced and groundbreaking research in robotic studies is being done in India's ACET Institute of Training and Research, and I'm here at one of their Delhi offices to explore what's on offer.
Good morning, Rowan. Good morning, Rowan.
Good morning, Miko.
Believe it or not, robots will soon take over the world we live in. You may not agree, but the fact is that robots are already being deployed in greater numbers. In factories, hospitals, kitchens, and in other different spheres of our lives. It won't be long before we have fully functional robots attending to our every need. Now, some analysts predict that by 2019, there will be a $135 billion market for consumer and business robots. All of this sounds splendid, but the question is if a country like India is actually ready for a robot invasion in their professional and personal lives. 24-year-old Divakar Vesh, the head of robotics and research at ACET, feels that Indians need to embrace the robot revolution.
We guys are not only ready, but we are in a great need of that kind of an assistance. So by robots, what do we understand? We understand a robot which has 2 arms, 2 legs, something like a humanoid, but it's more to that. These can be automation systems, these can be passive systems, these can be direct system or direct robots otherwise that can help us. So at any point of time, when we are talking about robots, then India has a huge need and a potential to adopt these kind of robots. We have a huge population to cater to. So at any point of time, if we're talking about Germany, US, Japan, Korea, then we should also be in the list. And yes, we are in the list of getting these kind of robots that will assist us and fulfill our needs.
Divakar developed India's first completely indigenous 3D printed humanoid. Now, this bundle of joy, also known as Manav, is functioned to do anything including dancing. According to Divakar, if a robot can dance, it can pretty much do anything. But Manav isn't just famous for his killer moves on the dance floor. He's also India's first mind-controlled robot.
Manav is India's first completely made in India robot. This robot has been made, manufactured, designed and fabricated here in India itself. We have something which is called an EEG device. This is a sensor that senses what exactly is going on inside your brain. So whether you're happy, sad or you're thinking anything inside your brain, I can get to know that in my laptop. And by that laptop, that transfers all that data to the robot, and robot understands in which kind of situation you're thinking and doing what kind of activities.
Divakar has also invented world's first mind-controlled wheelchair, which has been a great boon for the medical industry.
That's why in 2016 we launched this wheelchair, which is the world's first brain-controlled wheelchair that you can actually buy from the market. And this is the best part about this wheelchair is that you don't actually have to learn how this wheelchair works. Within just 5 minutes, you can be good to go on this wheelchair. Very easy to understand, and yet at a very affordable and a cheap buying and price.
Yes, mind-controlled robots and wheelchairs sound great, but the World Bank warns that the rise of robots could lead to unemployment rates greater than 70% in India, especially due to automation. There is no doubt that robots are making their presence felt in the workplace. They're expanding skills, moving up the corporate ladder, showing awesome productivity and retention rates.
You see this apple somewhere?
As intelligent machines begin their march on labor and become more sophisticated and specialized, Divakar is the outspoken champion in their corner.
Every technology is disruptive in the very starting. And when we are talking about smartphones, when we are talking about computers, when we are talking about even machines in the machining era, it all took away jobs. But see where exactly we are right now. So the thing is that yes, the jobs would be taken away. It is a big question of the 21st century that whether the jobs would be taken away or not. The thing is, yes, it would be, but at the very same point of time, new jobs would be created, more innovative jobs would be created.
It's true that while technological developments will cause greater automation and a decrease of hiring in some sectors, it will also create a lot of jobs too.
You have to help me.
Who's the real test?
However, the bigger concern for some experts is not the issue of unemployment, but rather the issue of self-awareness. Will a day come when robots become smarter than their human counterparts? This is perhaps the ultimate question that researchers debate endlessly. But getting there will require more than advances in robotics. It will require advances in artificial intelligence.
How do you feel? I feel.
Artificial intelligence is now the thing of the past. We have invented something which is called real intelligence. Solving a problem is artificial intelligence. Whereas real intelligence is the intelligence which is not just like human, but it is exactly what humans would have done otherwise. So by brain cloning technologies, we have been able to inculcate rather than artificial intelligence, but real intelligence into the robot.
There is no doubt that recent leaps in robotics and artificial intelligence should make us excited. But how the two will truly transform emerging economies like India is yet to be seen.
The growth of robotic industries is moving forward at an unmatchable pace, and there is no denying that the robot technologies is all set to change how things are done. And anything is possible with a dash of tech and a pinch of human imagination into it. Although there are challenges, but these challenges lead us to better opportunities, and these opportunities lead us to a better and a brighter future.
The new India, the India of the 21st century, is a nation where women empowerment is a burning issue. Major landmark steps have been taken to ensure gender equality, and technology's contribution to this has been very crucial, especially in the area of women's security. People with noble aspirations have come together to provide women with useful tools so they can protect themselves better. Our next story shows you how a group of young and talented engineers used their skills to develop a technology-equipped device that would make India a little bit safer.
Women across India demand safety. Crimes against women have more than doubled over the last decade. In India, a sexual assault occurs every 22.5 minutes. It's a startling statistic which speaks volumes and paints a sad truth about India's prevailing mindset. Is there anyone who can bring about a change? Well, we don't have an answer to that. But this startup in Delhi believes they can lend a helping hand. Meet Team Leaf. Founded in 2015, the company is headed by 5 former engineering students who are obsessed with finding a technology solution to help keep women in India safe. They have launched a specially designed pendant for women which actually looks quite stunning. But there's more to it than just good looks. At the heart of it lies a small circular device called Safer. It works in 2 ways. When a threat is perceived, the user double-clicks the Safer device that's attached to the jewelry, which triggers the corresponding app. The app sends an alert to the wearer's network and sends signals to a pre-registered set of guardians. Chargeable using a micro USB, the safer device has a 7-day battery life with just 15 minutes charging time. It's available in a variety of colors and is priced at Rs 3,500.
So the story goes back in July 2014. So that time I was living in a place called Munerka, which is next to IIT Delhi, with my younger brother. And one day I was catching a bus back to my college for a class, when I happened to talk to one of my neighbors who told me that the Nirbhaya incident happened from the same bus stop from where we are boarding the bus. So that was a trigger. Government has invested so much into our education by subsidizing it so much. Maybe it's time that we give it back with our technical knowledge, and technology is all we knew. So that's when the idea of Leaf Wearables and Safer came about, that we should tackle the problem of safety with technology.
The idea of Safer is very noble, but with the existence of multitudes of safety-oriented apps for smartphones already in the market, is Leaf Wearables really breaking new ground with this product?
Now, app is one solution that we also thought, but the biggest problem within women's safety app is that the phone is generally inside the woman's bag, handbag. So if at all there is a situation where she needs to press the button, she'll have to take out her phone, unlock it, find an app that she normally doesn't use, and then press an SOS button.
So then we realized that instead of handling the phone, in that sort of panic situation, there has to be a solution which is independent of it. And slowly and steadily it came out that we should have a magic button. Then we thought that obviously we can't make women wear a sort of an electronic looking device. So then there came the idea of pendant, and we have to make it more stylish. And
when we thought of the solution, we thought of it in a 360-degree way. One is the SOS alert, as I said, when response time is very low. You just need to double press it and the alert goes. That is one part. But apart from that, even if you don't land up in a situation where you need to send the SOS alert and you just want to take a preventive step, so you can share your live location with your loved ones and they can at all times see you moving on the maps and heading towards home or office, wherever you are headed. So it's like you are having a virtual companion along with yourself.
Another concern is that the concept of wearable technology is still not mainstream in India. Even big brands like Apple, Samsung and LG have not fared well in the Indian market with their wearable products. So how does a relatively new startup like this one intend to flourish or even survive?
See, when it comes to India, wearable technology is not an industry that has boomed or has become mainstream. If we are solving a real problem and if there is a real need of the product, then it does not matter which industry it lies in and if it's the right solution. Wearable was a good solution for the problem of safety, and that's why our wearables will work.
Leaf Wearables is India's first company to use wearable technology for safety. Going forward, they want to make this type of technology available for everyone, and has therefore decided to launch a new safety watch for kids. It's available in attractive colors and is priced at Rs 4,799.
it has been seen that the women are more paranoid about the safety of their own kids than to themselves. So it happens all the time. Now, whenever we used to go and pitch about this product in any public sort of meetings, so maximum customers used to come up to say that, yeah, you should make definitely for my kid as well, because I am very concerned.
The product Safer Kids is an outcome of a pull that we have seen from the market. We did not make it without getting a natural demand from people. People wanted Safer Kids. Safer Kids has its own GPS and GSM, so the kid has to wear it like a watch, and parents at all times can track the location of the kid. They can even set virtual areas on the map called Safer Zones. So whenever the kid enters or leaves that zone, they get a notification about it.
These guys are on a mission to make 1 million families safer and connected. Quite ambitious to say the least, and only time will tell whether it's attainable or not. But for now at least, it seems they're on the right track.
Okay, time to take a very quick break on the show, but a lot more innovation awaits you on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching our Independence Day special here on Tech It Out. Now, the connection of development with pollution has been long debated, but it is evident that in the wake of rapid progress, India is now topping the list of countries with high pollution levels. Every year, hundreds of thousands of deaths are caused by air pollution. begging to ask the question, how is one even supposed to breathe? Now, while most of us would contemplate, a couple of young engineers from Delhi-based Chakra Innovation have come up with a solution that could save many lives.
Air pollution is one of the leading causes of death in India. According to reports by Greenpeace India, every year nearly 3.3 million people lose their life due to air pollution in the country. It also causes the loss of 3% of GDP, and one of the main sources of this pollution is diesel generators. It were these very startling facts and statistics that made a group of young engineers from IIT Delhi come together and create Chakra Innovation, a startup that fights pollution head-on.
So me, Arpit Dhupar and Kushal Shrivastava, we three met in IIT. There were two things that made us like each other in one go, and that was our passion for working for the environment and an inclination to do something of our own rather than taking up a job. As is the norm in college, we used to be very high on energy and very low on cash. So we preferred roadside chole bhature instead of, say what, McPuff. During one such trip, Arpit Dhupar, our CTO, he headed out to drink sugarcane juice from a roadside vendor. Now, this vendor had used a diesel generator, a small diesel engine, to power up his sugarcane crusher. And that had turned the wall entirely black. And that is when the idea stuck to Dhupar as he held on to that glass of sugarcane juice, that why can't we do this intentionally? And what followed was 1 year of research into how to build a device that won't prove detrimental to a genset and still capture its emission. And today, here we are.
Taking the gauntlet, Prateek and his friends developed Chakra Shield, a device that transforms soot into ink and paint.
This soot is nothing but unburnt carbon particles. It's a very fine particle which ranges in micrometers. So it emits this solid particle out of its exhaust. So as the exhaust of the diesel engine passes through our device, what our device does is it cools it down, so it has a heat exchanger, and then when it passes through our device, when the soot passes through our device, we have a mechanism through which a solution interacts with that soot without hampering the flow of the soot. And the solution has been made such that it captures all the soot, it physically disperses the soot inside it. It traps it in its original form. So we collect the collected particulate matter from our device, we take it at our facility, and there we run it through the processes and convert it into ink.
Now, in numbers, Chakra won't sound like a big team, but it's definitely on its way to make a big difference.
Yeah, so we have divided our company into three main verticals. There's business development, which is headed by Kushal Shrivastava. Then there's our technical vertical, which is headed by Arpit Dhupar. And then there's the operation vertical, which is headed by me.
In Delhi alone, over 14,000 mobile towers are run by diesel engines which emit a harmful byproduct known as soot, stuff that nightmares are probably made out of.
So the soot emitted by diesel generators is very fine. As I said, its size ranges in micrometers. Now this size is so small that when you inhale this soot, it won't even be filtered by your lungs. It will go directly into your bloodstream. And what happens is, this is classified as class 1 carcinogen. It can cause cancer. So it is known to cause strokes, asthma, and even trachea, bronchus, and lung cancer. According to your vicinity that you are living beside a genset, the diesel generator could be reducing 11 months of your life.
The team estimates that their patented technology can reduce particulate matter emission from diesel generators by a whopping 90%. Till date, the device has captured over 180 kg of particulate matter and converted it into ink.
So we are launching our own brand of ink, which is named as POINK, Pollution Ink, P-O-I-N-K. You can also term it as you use POINK to make a point. And you can use that ink to print shirts, print mugs, whatever that you wish to do, and we'll do it for you.
Now, like most other success stories, it's not always been an easy path for Team Chakra. Starting their startup without any capital to support their brilliant idea, all the members chipped in from their pockets to get things off the ground.
One of the challenge was cash crunch, of course. So money wasn't that big of a problem. Our biggest challenge was finding the right customers for this device. And everybody patted us on our back, but nobody bought the device. Then we took the road of regulations. Still people had their own way to bypass that regulation. And after months of brainstorming, we found out that we first would have to identify the individuals and companies who are environmentally conscious.
Since then, they have installed around 30 chakra shields in different sectors, including telecom towers and FMGC players, and now they intend to expand further. While Chakra's attempt of curbing pollution seems effective and innovative, there is still a lot more that needs to be done. After all, you can make the greatest pollution-fighting contraption in the world, but convincing people to actually take pollution seriously is a different matter altogether. And perhaps that's where Chakra's biggest challenge lies.
Okay, so we're almost done with our India Innovate special, and we've showed you some young and talented people who are making a real difference in the field of technology. Everything from robotics to fighting pollution to women's safety, we brought you the best India has to offer in terms of innovation. However, our next story isn't really about innovation. It's more about tradition, or rather about keeping tradition alive. The Tech It Out team visited one of the oldest vinyl record stores in the whole of India, the new Gramophone House, which was established in 1930 in Lahore. But after India's partition with Pakistan, the shop found a new home in Delhi's Chandni Chowk and has since been catering to the demands of LP record lovers consistently. In the age of digital downloads and music streaming apps, the new Gramophone House has never stopped selling vinyl records. Take a look.
Now, a lot has changed in the way we listen to music. From streaming to digital downloading, it's become a lot more convenient for a person who's a music fan. But convenience isn't really everything. Now, the sales globally for vinyl records has gone up to more than 50% this year. Yes, the hottest way to listen music in 1917 is also one of the hottest ways to listen music in 2017. So here I am visiting the oldest Gramophone House at Chandni Chowk in Delhi to understand why people are still in love with the good old vinyl. Come, let's go find this place out.
Chandni Chowk. One just can't help but fall in love with it. Be its bustling streets or loud market vendors or endless labyrinth of alleys, the atmosphere here is always electrifying. But in this perpetual sea of chaos, there is a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. And it's called the new Gramophone House. But in Chandni Chowk, appearances are deceptive. Because when you reach the large new Gramophone House sign, all you find is a shoe and a chappal shop.
Okay, so I'm finally here at the new Gramophone House. It has an amazing wall-to-wall collection of old vinyl records. It repairs old gramophones and also take orders to make newer records. I'm actually quite excited to visit this place.
As you enter the tiny store, you're instantly hit by a tsunami of nostalgia. Cooped up in this claustrophobic room lies a treasure trove of vintage music. It's an antique collector's paradise, a music concierge's ultimate hunt, and a history hunter's dream find. The walls are lined with shelf after shelf of stacked records. From Michael Jackson to Stevie Wonder, from classical rock to Indian classical, it has over 2 lakh records, mostly vinyls. They're priced from anywhere between 200 and 5,000 rupees, depending obviously on the condition of the record. Now, apart from selling records, they also repair old gramophones, if you still possess one, that is.
This store is since before my birth, so I've never seen or thought of something else. It was started in 1930 by my grandfather in Lahore, Pakistan, and after 1947 it was migrated to here. Since then we are over here.
It would probably take you an entire lifetime to rummage through this mega collection, but as you gaze upon the neatly stacked relics, rare records that predate audio cassettes and CDs by over a century, it makes you think, how does one manage to keep a check on stocks?
It's not easy work. It's a big, very big collection, so we have to manage that. Earlier we used to keep what is the current selling, but now we are keeping the complete catalog from the starting of the manufacturing of the records. So we have a much bigger collection now. We have assorted by all the categories and all the languages, and everything is listed on the website, so we have the details of each and every record.
For Anuj, vinyls offer users familiar comforts that the digital age just can't. He believes after decades of living in the shadow of modern innovation, gramophone records are making waves again.
The people who want the physical, they are going towards vinyls. As they are good in quality and long life, they are improving sound quality and its long life. They are never damaged or destroyed. They are long life, and the sound quality is still the best in these.
Interestingly, as CDs have become more or less extinct, vinyl records, oddly enough, have seen around 260% growth since 2009 and has actually experienced a hard time meeting the overwhelming demand. In 2015, more than 3 million LPs were sold, while in 2016, sales of vinyl reached a 25-year high as a consumer demand soared. Now, according to a report by the British phonographic industry, 2016 was also the 9th consecutive year that vinyl records hit a massive growth. Although vinyl sales only account for 5% of the album's market, they're becoming increasingly important sources of income for record labels and musicians. Now, a rise in sales was also marked after the death of some artists like David Bowie, where people bought vinyls as mementos. Now, some could argue that the demand of records is just another fad, and perhaps that's true. But for us here at Tech It Out, the return of vinyl represents something far greater than numbers and statistics. It represents progress. It represents buying music for the sound and not for convenience. And most importantly, it represents an exciting time to collect a technology that's more than a century old.
The persistence of such things defies all logic of the digital age. I mean, there's something about holding a record in your hands. You can read the sleeve notes, you can look at pictures, you can hold your past in your hands and maybe future too. And you know what? It's just not same on a computer screen or any other music player.
Well, that's it for this edition of Tech It Out. We really hope you enjoyed the show. You can of course write to us with your feedback on our digital and social media platforms. Wishing you all a very happy Independence Day from everyone here at WION. Stay proud and keep innovating.